Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, wherever you are in this world when you're watching this. Hello. Yesterday was like herding squirrels. I know, it's like the least professional thing you've ever seen, right? But you know what? I don't know. I think that's the flavor of this, right? Just kind of off the cuff and all that. Anyways, yesterday on here and on TikTok, I was talking about the plan I made because of the issue I've been going through with my medical being all messed up right now and probably not being on until March. So that being said, like I said, yesterday was like herding squirrels, and to be honest with you, I think the reason I'm so open about this is because a lot of times, you know, this is stuff we go through, but I didn't realize that not having my antidepressant and not having my thyroid, it affects my memory too. I mean, my memory is like, I'll be in the middle of talking to an older sibling and it's like, wait, what? And normally in the show, when I go in a circle, I'm able to circle back, not able to do that very effectively right now. So, that being said, going back to yesterday's show, I talked about having a plan. No, it is not the entire book. This is my journal. This is part 2 of my my certain amount of days that I do, that I've been doing for a couple of years. And again, just as a refresher, it's the time between when my mom passed away the time when my mom was diagnosed and the time she passed away. I came up with this long thing. It's like, what would I do in this amount of days? So, as I mentioned yesterday, I came up with a plan. Again, not the whole book. This is just my journal. This is the second journal, part 2. But I came up with good morning, baby sibling. I was wondering if you were working from home today. So this was my plan. You get a very, very exclusive look into my journal. So, and I just realized, I didn't finish journaling what I was started before I did this whole plan thing, because that took over my brain. So this is what I've done. And it's this is the amount of days that I think it's going to take for everything to be back in order, for Shelly Marie to be back on her rocker, and everything I've done to kind of put myself in a balanced state. So it says the plan, how to survive and thrive until I'm back on and balanced on everything again. So, so if you pause it and you screenshot it, then let me explain. The HP bag is what I call the coping bag, and it's this cute little Harry Potter bag that I have that my friend gave me. My friend or my cousin, somebody gave it to me, and it's two-sided, but everything goes in there. And it's when I'm not at my desk, and if I feel like I'm going to need it throughout the house. And by that I mean upstairs or downstairs. So I have journaling. Number 1 is journaling. I have 3 books that I'm journaling in. So there is let's see. Let me pull these out. This is a gift from a friend of mine. Mindfulness for Beginners. And I do pretty good in mindfulness, but full disclosure, I got this a few years ago and I'm only opening it now. So Mindfulness for Beginners, and a journey within, an introspective activity journal to help you get to know yourself better. In fact, while I'm in here, let's see what's today's question. How well do you know yourself? Write about a few things you recently discovered about yourself. That won't be hard. I recently discovered, or I shouldn't even say discovered, I think I just realized, I came to the conclusion that, being on an antidepressant is probably going to be something, it's going to be a thing for the rest of my life. And that's kind of something I did discover about myself, because I discovered that even though I pretend to be okay with it, I've never truly been okay with it. So that's something I'm working on now. That's something I'm doing to destigmatize myself so that, I can really talk to people about this and give these teachable moments and these growth opportunities without stigmatizing myself, because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I really don't. So those are the 3 journals. I'm supposed to read a chapter a day in a book by Brené Brown about wholeheartedness, but I have to be honest with you, reading reading right now, it's so hard for me to focus. It is so hard for me to focus. So that's a challenge, but it's a challenge I'm working on. Move my body, so like the qigong or go for a walk. Meditate. I do enjoy meditating. I'm not very good at it, and sometimes I admit I do fall asleep, but it helps. I've done like the shorter mindfulness type of meditating, like if something feels like it's starting to come up and want to be, just, it's kind of like count to 10. And then I kind of find I've been training myself that when I count to 10 to automatically start doing my deep breathing or my breathing exercises. And the reason I've done a shorter version is because, we do get behind the wheel of a car, and we are out there with a bunch of people who I will go and love when I just say, could use a little more time in the training chair of, driver's ed. But, I don't mean just kids. I mean adults too. But that being said, sometimes it's like you don't want to carry that, because a lot of people will get upset and it'll ruin their whole day. I am no longer that person where she's kind of like, yeah, whatever, it happened. It's like, yeah, I got it out. I yelled at my windshield, blah, blah, blah. Probably not the healthiest thing to do. So in that respect, I'm trying to teach myself kind of like 2 types of mindful breathing, like 1 through 10 when I'm driving and just kind of refocus my breathing and just say, hey, it's okay, let it go. And then the 1 through 10 when you're not behind the wheel or behind, managing anything dangerous, and you're able to just kind of recenter. So there's that. My goal is to balance and be mindful until back on the antidepressant and my thyroid meds and metabolizing those meds again. And, oh, this is a big one. And I don't know if I want to share it because it's a little embarrassing, but, yeah, I'll share it. I literally had to write myself a note because there are times when, I will scratch something out, and back in the old days, before everybody had a laptop and before it was cool to have a laptop. It's not even cool to have a laptop anymore. I should say when it was cool to have a laptop, because not everybody had one. We would write in notebooks. I would write in notebooks. All my stories were in notebooks or on loose leaf papers and binders, all those different things. My poems were in like, they sold journals and stuff. So I buy journals only for that, because I thought that's what journals were for. I thought they were just for, the fancy writing. Little did I know that you can put all your crap inside of a nice journal. But, I had to write in here, hot tip. Okay, I literally put hot tip to myself. Shelley Marie, when your mind is agitated, scratch outs feel unacceptable. Take a deep breath, and it says, because I don't want to redo this chart again. Remember, it's your anxiety causing this. So this is the scratch outs that I'm talking about. And this right here, that's from the first chart I did. And I messed up one little thing. And I don't have whiteout. Whiteout drives me nuts. I mean, if I'm working, it's fine. If I'm typing on a typewriter, it's fine. But whiteout drives me crazy because, it doesn't, if you use the liquid, it's not always flat. So when you turn the page, you're writing on bumpy stuff. If you use the flat stuff, sometimes it comes off or it's easily scratched off. So then you're like, well, what's the point? So, and it's good for other things, but for me, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I didn't want to redo the chart. But like I said, it was the tiniest little thing that I did. And I saved the page to remind myself, to just, I know what it was. It also felt, it felt chaotic, it felt chaotic, and it didn't feel, it didn't flow like the new chart did. So the new chart I did in pencil, and then I traced over it. And by that I mean the grid. So there was that. Okay. Like I said I would share it. And one of the reasons I wanted to share it is if you're going through something similar, or even if you are on everything you need to be on, sometimes we go through these moments where we're just kind of like, ugh. I have a book. Let's see. Hold on right a second. This is my spiral book. Not spiral book, spiral book. And you can see all the tabs I have on here. Now, I started this a long time ago, and to be perfectly honest with you, I completely forget that I have it all the time. So until I'm after my spiral. But I had a chapter for the happenings, the acceptance, the forgiveness that might need to be made. And it is like a true journal book, right? So, what else do I have? Happy thoughts, which are, just a bunch of things, and just pictures and whatnot, and just things that, I try to go through to remind myself that everything's going to be okay. So in a way, I've already made a plan before. And then the balance, it's just a reminder of what a balance is. And then, I had a place for my emotional eating where, I would just kind of get out of hand. And, I love these quotes. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So sometimes we just have to really trust that everything is going to be okay, even when it doesn't feel like it. All right. So I know that's hard, but it's doable. And I'm proving to myself that it's doable. Look at that cute little baby Honu, that little tiny turtle. There is no guarantee in this world that that little baby is going to make it very far in the ocean. But you know what? His first instinct, her first instinct, their first instinct, is to move towards the ocean, to get into that water, because they obviously are a lot faster when they're in the water. So think of, when you have that mental flare up, right? That dinged up mental flare up. Think of the turtle. Think of, how they're very persistent. And yeah, something might come along and we don't want to think about that, right? We don't want to think about the bad things that could happen because they're so cute. But, it is about finding peace. It's about finding that peace within yourself in that moment. And, let's see. Oh, see, I put it here next to the turtle. Courage in the face of the unknown. Yay, baby turtle. And then I put in the bottom, make it happen. So these are all things to remind myself because, I know people think, and this is good for anybody, whether you have a dinged up mental health or not. Sometimes we just get so focused on all the wrong things that we forget to focus on the right things. And then we get upended. We start to spiral. We go down the roads we don't want to go down. And it gets ugly. So, the other day, I journaled last night that, I am struggling still. It has not been the easiest couple of weeks, and I still have a few more weeks ahead of me. So I'm doing my best to maintain the best that I can. I'm coming up with that plan. And, Capricorns are generally organized people, but when I get into things like this, my organization skills go flying out the window. All right. If you subscribe to that kind of stuff, which I do. So anyways, horoscopes are a crapshoot. Okay. Unless you get one personalized for yourself. Sometimes they're a hit and a miss, sometimes they hit you, just for people who are into that. I just want to tell you, I'm not saying I'm not, but it's kind of like when I do the oracle readings on Friday, right? If it resonates with you, then it's meant for you. If it doesn't, it's just a general thing. It's something that's generalized to fit everybody. And if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the person writing it would tell you the same thing. This does not mean this is going to happen to you. It could be a 50-word, paragraph, right? Something so small about something that might happen to you today. And one word might stick with you. And maybe that's the word you just need to focus on. And it could be focus, right? So, that being said, that was the plan. Those are the books. And, I really got to be better at the spiral book. But to be honest with you, I think the reason I don't use the spiral book as much anymore is it's when I first started my journey. That's why there's all kinds of tabs. I am the post-it note queen. Everybody, at my last job, everybody used to tease me a lot because I had post-it notes everywhere. And yet, when they needed to know something, poof, there it was right there. And a lot of times, I didn't leave the post-it notes for myself. I left it for them because I had a whole book of post-it notes for, certain sectioned out things that I needed to know and needed to know quick. So, there you go. See, not so bad at what I did. But yeah, I think this is kind of this is kind of the person I used to be. You know, the universe has your back. This is when I really kind of started my journey. It's been a hard journey. You know, healing journeys are rough. They are rough. The trauma was bad, but the trauma was so long ago, and it was something I dealt with that, you know, but I think because I held it down for so long, that bringing it all up and having those memories come back that you just like, ugh, you know, and then you have to work through them and make sure that they're not something that you think happened. And then, you know, you go through this regression stuff and you're like, oh my God, it did happen. And, you know, and it's not that I put these things in my head. I mean, trust me, some of the things that I remembered are things that I would have preferred to not remember. But the only way to heal it was to remember it. The only way to forgive it was to remember it. And I'm not saying that's for everybody. Okay, that was where the shadow work came in. That's where the healing your inner child, your inner teenager, your inner young adult. But oh look, I even have notes for therapy. So there's a lot in here. But I think having that plan, whether you know you need to or not, is a good thing to have, because what happens when you do start to struggle and there's no plan in place? You know, I mean, do we always remember and if anybody's like me, I usually don't know I'm spiraling until I'm in the spiral. But because of doing all this work, or I should say, I didn't know I was in one until I was in one, or that I was spiraling until I was in one. But by doing all this work, I've started to notice my patterns. I've started to notice certain things that I do or say or feelings I have, or if the struggle feels extra, I know I have to reel it in a bit, because that means I'm probably starting to spin out of control. And my out of control just means I go really deep within. I go so far within that sometimes it feels like somebody has to throw, a rope down to pull me out, because that's when I need help. And I think if we ask for help before we get to that point, we may not hit bottom as hard as we do. We may still hit bottom, because you know what? There are things we have to fix. There are things we have to face. And there are things we have to heal. And we have to be brave enough and have enough courage to do that. So if anybody ever tells you that because you have a dinged up mental health that you're not strong, you are. Because you have survived every single day of every moment of your life. All right? So, since it is Self-Care Wednesday, which I did not announce at the beginning. Oh, it's Wednesday. And baby sibling is on. Happy hump day! Hump day, hump day, hump day. I don't know why she loves that, but she does. I mean, I love the commercial, but for some reason she gets the giggles when I do it. So hopefully that helped. But I woke up this morning and the first thing that hit my head was self-care healing, or healing yourself deck. Healing yourself deck. So, see, she's commenting now. So funny. At least somebody appreciates my humor. So, besides me. But I chose the Heal Yourself deck. And I think for those who don't realize this, healing is a part of self-care. Healing is how we figure out what it is that we need to take care of. Self-care isn't just about, going out and doing things like getting massages or going to the movies or going out with friends. Self-care is also doing all that internal work so that when you go out and you get that massage, you hang out with friends, or you go to the movies, you enjoy it. So, let's see. I'm a little nervous. I don't know why. I can't see the card because this is literally what I see, but I'm getting butterflies. Let me take a sip of coffee first. But yeah, I'm like legit getting butterflies. Pay attention to signs. That look is because it's like, what does this have to do with self-care? Pay attention to signs. I don't know. Am I supposed to pull another card? Is this for something else? I have no idea. Let me see what the next one is. Love. We did that one last week. So, love. All right. Well, you know what? Before I judge this card, number 10, which is my birthday, pay attention to signs. So maybe that's the sign, right? That I'm supposed to do it because it's the number 10. So my favorite number is actually 13 for no other reason than it used to scare me as a child, so I embraced it when I turned 13, and it has been my favorite number ever since. So, signs are all around you. Open your mind and pay close. I cannot read today. This is the other downside of all this. Everything gets jumbled and wants to come out at the same time. So signs are all around you. Open your mind and pay closer attention to your environment. Your angels know that you've been feeling lost. Okay, just so you know, whenever these cards come up, just fill it in with your higher power. Okay, I'm just reading it from the book and then we'll talk about it after. But your angels know that you've been feeling lost about the direction you need to take in your life and the decisions you need to make. They have heard your frustrations and your pleas for help. They ask you to slow down, stop focusing on the problem, and allow a solution to come into your reality. Okay, I mocked this card. This card is the card for the day. Okay, and not just for me, but I'm sure for a lot of you out there. So, let's see. Your spiritual helpers have been organizing synchronistic events and support for you, but you keep thinking in the same stubborn way. Relax and look at life in a more creative way. Pay attention to repetitive signs and signals. A sign can come in the form of a song, a movie, a book, nature, animals, people, thoughts, dreams, visions, etc. At times, your body also gives you signs. Your body may be telling you to rest, change your diet, or to work on challenging emotions. Be sure to take these signals seriously. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't take this card seriously to begin with. Yes, this card, all right? This is the card. And I do believe in angels. I believe in God. I believe in a lot of things. I have a very vast spiritual table. To be honest with you, I should just call my spirit table the Justice League. So let my inner nerd, my geek flag fly. Let my geek flag fly. I think I'm going to start calling my spiritual table the Justice League because, or come up, I don't know, the Spirit League. I don't know. If you have a name, come up with one for me. But, I do have a lot of, beliefs and, more of a spiritualist than anything, but I have to admit, God came first, and he was the second man in my life, my father being the first. So a lot of people would say, no, God should come first. No, you know what? God is exactly where he needs to be in my life. So, and I do believe in that. So, but like I said, I have a lot of other spiritual beliefs, and I have a very vast spiritual table, which again, I really am going to call it the Justice League. But yeah, okay, baby sibling, call me when you're done. So anyways, your angels know that you've been feeling lost about the direction you need to take in your life and the decisions you need to make. They have heard your frustrations and your pleas for help. They ask you to slow down, stop focusing on the problem, and allow a solution to come into your reality. Simply put, stop trying to control the situation. Stop trying to fix it. Stop trying to make it fit yourself. Stop trying to make it fit your reality. This is where we have to learn how to go in love and go with the flow. And trust me, I get it. It's hard. It's hard because, you want everything to work out the way you want it to. You want to know the timing of everything. You want to know, well, when's this going to happen? Or when's that going to happen? Or when's this person going to get their shit together? Or when am I going to get my shit together? And because we don't know these things, we tend to really kind of upend ourselves. And we cause this unnecessary anxiety that we don't need. We shouldn't have to deal with, but we do because we are trying to control something. People will sit there and go, oh, I hate that term, go with the flow, but it is absolutely necessary. It is absolutely true. And it is hard as fuck. Seriously, it is so hard. But is it really hard, or do we make it hard? Yeah, there's one for you. Is it hard, or do we make it hard? I personally think we make it hard because we have to uncondition ourselves from all of the conditioning that we've had throughout our life, saying, no, that's BS. No, that's this, that, or the other. That doesn't happen. This doesn't exist. No, you have to believe in this book only because this is the good book and blah, blah, blah. And I think we kind of upend ourselves. When I discovered the spiritual side of myself, I am what they call a polytheist. Okay. And a polytheist means I have numerous deities that sit at my table, hence the Justice League. But, and like I said, God is like chairman of the board, it's like the Frank Sinatra of my table. But, sorry, that's only if you know that was his nickname. If you didn't, then that would just right over your head. But anyways, And it's not because I don't trust. It's because they all bring something different to my table, something for my spiritual needs. And I do my best to honor them all. I do my best to thank them when they do nice things. But that also includes my angels. And I am a huge fan of the archangels, so much so, I have 4 of them tattooed right onto me. But because I know when I see those markings on me that everything is going to be okay. I don't always trust it, but it's my own personal reminder. I do not get a tattoo that does not mean anything to me, or just on a whim. Everything I get is planned out, and it is, I would probably say the pineapple was probably the most whimsical one, but it matches baby siblings, so, you know, but, I turned it into a saying. So, we have to trust that when they hear our frustrations and our pleas for help, that they're going to help. We can't sit there and go, are you done yet? Did you finish it? Do you need help? You're asking them for help. Do your best to sit back and let it happen. But also remind them, in my personal opinion and in the dreams that I've had, I know I have some wacky dreams. I dream like every night, and I dream in color. But I'm not so sure they're wacky anymore, as much as maybe they're something I know that I don't realize I know. But if there is anything to my dreams, the timing on the other side is much different than it is over here. Time moves much slower over there. Now, some people say time moves much faster over there. In the dreams I've had, time moves much slower over there. So, so just say, hey, you know what? Can you do it in my timing? Not your personal time, like, hey, I want this done by next Tuesday, but, in human time, this level of existence, this plane of existence time. And I probably wouldn't tell them that, but just remind them. And, I say that, but is it possible that the reason things take forever is because we stop believing? There are some things last night that I was just so done and ready to give up on. And I was just like, I kept hearing, I kept seeing these thoughts in my head going, you can't quit, you can't stop. And knowing where my brain is at right now, I know those were my signs. Those were someone telling me those things. No, I'm not nuts. No, I'm not crazy. If you don't believe in this, that's okay. I'm not here to make you believe in what I believe, what comes into my head, what I hear, and what I'm able to do when I do actually read oracle cards. Those are my gifts. But paying attention to signs has nothing to do with spirituality. It has everything to do with, if you are asking for help, whether it's to the universe or your higher power or the angels, you have to let them help. This or something better. I say that all the time during the oracle readings when I do them on Fridays, which is usually every other week now. But give them the wiggle room. Give them the time. You can't say, oh, it's 2 a.m. or it's 10 a.m. in the morning and it's 6 p.m. now. How come it hasn't happened? It depends on what you're asking for. Okay. I didn't have any cash on me the other day. Okay. And I was out, and, I had to wash a comforter. So, I don't have a washing machine big enough for a comforter. So I go out and I go to the laundromat, and, I had some clothes. I just threw some clothes in, and I was like, oh, you know what? I need $5 for something. And I thought, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I'll just stop in at the ATM and pull some money out. And then lo and behold, as I'm pulling the stuff out of the dryer, $5 folded up in a square falls out. And I know it fell out of my jeans or siblings' jeans. I don't know which one, but whichever it was, it's like, oh, that's perfect. But I don't check pockets. So, I checked the washing machine and there was nothing in the washing machine. So I figure if something's in the washing machine, it's going to fall out, right? Wrong. So, somehow it stayed in the pocket until I was ready for me to see it. And I guess I laundered money. I know, not what it means at all. Trust me, I used to work for a bank, so I had to take all those crazy tests. But anyways, there it was. So I asked for help. I received help, but that was something simple. One day I'll tell you about the time I really manifested something interesting. I was like, whoa, it was amazing. All the way down to the folding of the bill. And it was kind of like, just because I didn't believe it, I didn't trust it. So I was really trying to make it hard. And then it just happened. Well, I'll just tell you now. So I was learning how to to really kind of trust the universe and to put out help, ask for help in this. And I didn't really need this. So, but I asked for a $20 bill. And I mean, come on, seriously, no one really finds a $20 bill on the ground. You're lucky if you find a dollar bill on the ground, but you find coins everywhere. So I could have said, oh, I want to manifest a dime. Okay, not hard. I mean, there's change everywhere. It's like, people just either miss their pockets or whatever. So that was too easy. So I thought, I'm going to make it really hard. I'm going to ask for a $20 bill, and I want it folded into a triangle. And I mean, almost like a flag type of triangle. And I thought, yeah, and I just kind of mocked it the whole day until lunchtime. And one of the big bosses was in town. He's since, bless his heart, passed away. But it's one of my favorites. And he's standing at my desk, and he's like, oh, kid, he's all like, I'm really sorry, I can't go to lunch today. The guys are taking me out because I'm going back tomorrow, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, no big deal. But while he's standing there, he pulls money out of his pocket, and he starts folding it. And then I thought he was just, at this time, he was having some, he was mentally digressing. I don't know how to put that. He was in early stages of dementia, I believe. And so I just thought he was fidgeting. He folded a $20 bill into a triangle and handed it to me and said, here, I want you to go buy lunch. I gave it back. I didn't want his money. I wanted to go hang out with him for lunch because I didn't get to see him that often. And to be honest with you, I wasn't sure how often I would get to see him after that. Turns out I saw him 2 more times after that, but because, they knew that it was coming towards the end of him coming down to visit us in our office, everybody monopolized his time. So, we would just hang out in the office, and because his office was kitty corner to my desk. But I was dumbfounded. And I told him, I said, what made you roll or, shape this into a triangle? He's like, I don't know. I just pulled it out, and that's what I did. I mean, this is the same guy who I've known the whole time I'd known him, would just pull money out, fold it in half, and just basically toss it on your desk. If you wanted to do something nice for you. And it wasn't flaunting it. It was just, he was a very nice guy, and if you took care of him, he wanted to do something back nice for you. Like I said, I didn't want his money. You do not argue with the big boss. So after about 5 minutes, he he opened up my cupboard and put it in my purse. So it's like, all right, that's it. I'm not going to argue anymore. But I was dumbfounded. And after he left my desk and I went to lunch, I called older sibling and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot tell you what just happened. So this is why we have to trust. And I don't mean mock it either. To be honest with you, I mocked it when I first put it out there, and I thought, well, we'll see what happens. And it was not the place I thought it would be. It was not the timing I thought it would be. It was not what I thought it would be. I didn't think it would happen, but because I forgot about it and just let them take care of it, poof, it happened. So you have to trust, okay? Your spiritual helpers, excuse me, I do not know why I'm struggling talking today. It's bad enough I'm trying not to lose my voice, but someday I'll sound like Shelly Marie again, I hope. But anyways, your spiritual helpers have been organizing synchronistic events and support for you, but you keep thinking in the same stubborn way. Relax and look at life in a more creative way. But you keep thinking in the same stubborn way. And by that means, you keep giving it to them and you keep trying to do it yourself. Here's the key. If you're a person who does the law of attraction, if you're a person who prays, if you're a person who sets intentions or tries to manifest things, however you want to put it, and you wonder why, Susie Q over there got her prayer answered and yours hasn't been, or Joe Blow over there got his manifestation answered or his intention answered and yours didn't, or, John Doe over there got their law of attraction answered and you didn't. It's because you're trying to control it. It's because you have an inability to relax and look at life in a more creative way. And creatively means just see what happens. To me, in my interpretation, my perspective, looking at life in a more creative way is stop trying to control everything. If something pops into your head to go do something, do it, because that might be where it manifests, whether it's the prayer, the intention, the law of attraction, whatever it is that you are putting out there. Okay. I don't narrow it down to one thing. People have all different beliefs and I respect that. So, and if you think all this is bullshit, that's okay too. look at life creatively. Listen to yourself. If you don't believe in any of that stuff, that's all right. Because this still pertains to you. If you're trying to figure out why something's not happening, but you feel like everybody else is getting their stuff, don't look at what they're doing. Okay? Keep your eyes on your own paper. Focus on what it is that you need and allow these thoughts to come up into your head. Allow your heart to speak for you. Allow your soul to tell you what it needs. Because when we let this take control too often, it's going to overthink. It's going to override everything you're trying to do. And it might start smoking at some point because it's working too hard. And then you're going to have anxiety. And then you're going to just, want to lay down on a bed and just go like, oh my God, I cannot. Right? Give it the wiggle room it needs, no matter what your belief. Pay attention to repetitive signs and signals. This is my favorite one. A sign can come in the form of a song, a movie, a book, nature, animals, people, thoughts, dreams, visions, etc. So yesterday, this random spider ran down the couch. Sibling is horrified of spiders. It wasn't a tiny one. It was a big one. But the weird thing is it just sat there. It was looking at me. I was looking at it. And I'm like, oh my God, muster your courage, muster your courage. And I couldn't find a cup nearby. So I just, I found a bottle. I found a little bottle. And it's like I had to work fast because, once I put it in the bottle and put the lid on it, there's, But then I brought him outside. Or her, whichever. But I thought, okay, this has got to be a sign for something. Because normally when a spider sees you, they run. Because you're bigger than they are. Yeah, they have more legs, but you have a foot or a hand or a paper. And I try to do the humane thing now. Sometimes I'm not in a position to do it, and I feel really, really bad, and I sit there and ask for forgiveness for about 80,000 days. But when I can, and I would say more times than not, I'm able to safely relocate said creature. It was raining, so I just put him on the patio. And hopefully they don't come back in. But yeah, I told Sibling and she just froze. This is after this little guy was outside. But I thought, well, it sat there. No matter how much moving I was doing, it just sat there. So this is a sign. This is a sign that I'm supposed to look up the meaning of this animal. Now, you can Google everything. Spiritual meaning of fill in the blank. Maybe you see a ladybug. Maybe you see a caterpillar. Maybe you see a butterfly. And a lot of people think that butterflies and hummingbirds are family visiting. My mom usually shows up in the form of a dragonfly. Well, I don't mean she shows up in the form of a dragonfly, but I know that I feel like she's around when I see certain types of dragonflies, because normally around here I just see the regular colored ones. But every so often when I'm thinking of my mom, a purple one will show up. And purple was her favorite color. And it's like, wow, they really do come in all kinds of colors. So, yeah. But signs can come from everywhere. You could be watching, and I kid you not, you could be watching a show that has absolutely zero to do with what you might be thinking of. It could be an action movie, it could be this, but they might say something in there that resonates with you. That's your sign. You might turn on the car radio. As sad as this is, when I was dating this one guy, he liked to step out on me a lot. And I was young, you just, when you're so in love, you just, okay, no worries. And, but I have to say this, at least he broke up with me, but I was the dumb one that took him back. He'd break up with me, go off and do whatever he wanted to do. But there was this one song that would always come on. And after a while, I realized that's a pattern. So when I'd hear this song, I knew something was going to happen. And sure enough, it always did, because I didn't hear that song very often. And it's a sad example, yeah. But there's a lot of different things that happen. There's a certain set of books out there that everybody thought were, trashy and this and that. But it dealt with abuse. And, the abuse that it dealt with on a very smaller scale was kind of like, I feel seen. Not that was, I don't know. I can't go into details about that because I don't want to take away from what we're talking about. But when somebody asks me, well, what'd you think about the book? And it's like, believe it or not, it actually helped kind of stir up a healing that I know I need to do. And they're like, what? You got that out of that book? And I said, you know what? There's something in everything for everyone. And I said, that part spoke to me. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the books. I'm not going to lie, but, and the movies. If you have not figured it out by now, you were never going to figure it out. But that being said, it did help me. And it helped me realize, wow, there's a lot I have to heal. And there's a lot of damage that I need to undo. Because I had walls up. I felt I resonated with the two main characters. Walls up, don't want to open your heart, super shy, wish they were seen. So it's almost like, you know, spinning yourself in circles because you're trying to be this one person, but you feel like this other person. And it was hard. And those were things I really, really had to start working on. So it doesn't matter what it is. You know, like I said, whether, like it says here, a song, a movie, a book, nature, animals, people, thoughts, dreams, visions, etc. Maybe you're sitting in a coffee shop and you overhear somebody say something. You might be, oh my God, that's exactly what I needed. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I took older sibling to, she's going to be a part of a clinical trial for chronic pain. And, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, what do I do when I'm ready to publish the story that I have a lot of stories I finished, but I have severe George McFly syndrome. But there's one story that I really want to get out there. And I really thought, wow, this will make a great play someday. I mean, I really thought this will make a great play someday, but it's like, baby steps. All right. Let's get this into the world first. All of a sudden, this guy comes out from the office she was in. And, you know, she's doing her little tests and stuff that they're asking for. And I'm sitting in the lobby and he's a publisher. And so I wrote down the publisher's name. And I thought, well, that's got to be a sign. And, you know, before I understood how all this worked, I would have just sat up there and go, wow, that person, whoever he's talking to, they're lucky that, and it's like, I wouldn't have thought, whoa, somebody just put a publisher in front of you. This could be somebody that, you know, that you could talk to one day. In fact, I even have a link in because I think he was waiting for someone. I could just say, yeah, I didn't mean to overhear your conversation, but I heard you at so-and-so's office. And they might be like, oh, you know, and that could be a conversation starter. I'm not good at that. Once I get conversing, I'm fine. But opening my mouth and actually talking is a problem. But you know what? I'm working on that too. So those are your signs. And at times your body also gives you signs. Your body may be telling you to rest, change your diet, or to work on challenging emotions. Be sure to take these signals seriously. The rest and change, I'm pretty sure, change your diet, I'm pretty sure you know those. Okay, like, my body does not allow me to eat emotionally the way I used to. It will make me, and I don't get a tummy ache. I literally will get a headache, and I will feel just kind of really off, and my whole body just feels like, my whole body is like the tummy ache, except my tummy doesn't hurt. So, and yes, I said tummy. So, I realized after a while, when I was emotionally eating, I mean, this is recent emotional eating. I know, fell off the wagon again. I thought, whoa, my body's trying to tell me something. It is saying, Shelly Marie, you cannot do this anymore. This is no bueno. So I thought about that. But also, you have spidey instincts. You have your fight or flight feelings. You know, should I confront this? Should I walk away? If it's something that you're just angry about and you feel like you need to be heard, walk away. Walk away and come back later and share your thoughts in a less tense manner. All right? Because you don't want to fight with anybody either. Fighting is not worth it. Nobody gets anywhere when you're fighting. So listen to your body. All right? So, here we go. Here's the action for this. Do this with a friend. Put on a song. Dance freely. Have your friend stop the song between 2 to 3 minutes. When the music stops, make a gesture. From that position, think about your challenge from a different perspective. Ask for a sign, then repeat the exercise with a new song 4 to 5 times. Record all important insights. Over the next week, pay attention to signs from your environment as well as your dreams. So I like that part better. Over the next week, pay attention to signs from your environment as well as your dreams. I'm not really sure what that means when it says when the music stops, make a gesture. I don't know. I mean, if your shoulders are slumped, you need to, I don't know. That, whoever that makes sense to, great. But for me, it's pay attention to your environment as well as your dreams. What's happening in there? What's going on in there? So I love this card. I 100% love this card. I think it's helpful. I know this was a longer show than I probably intended for it to be, but I think it's helpful. When we're going through healing and we're going through hard stuff, signs are everything. And a lot of people say, oh, signs are just coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason. And I know a lot of people don't. And, you know, there's, you know, you got your people over here that do, your people over here that don't. And that's okay. Because, like I said, everybody moves through this world at their own pace, in their own way. And it's really about us keeping our eyes on our paper. You know, don't let somebody stop you from believing something because they don't believe in it. If it suits you, fine. I mean, a lot of the people I know, every time I say something on my Facebook page is closed. So that's why the Aloha Perspective is over here, because I keep getting those weird, you know, I mean, it's like a couple years ago when I turned 48, all of a sudden, all these people thought I was desperate for love. All right. Then I turned 50 and it got even worse. All right. So at 51, it's gotten even worse. So I shut my page down completely. I don't like to make public posts on there if I don't have to, because there's enough public posts on there, but that's why I have the Aloha Perspective blogging page now, because I'd rather keep that stuff, the advocacy and whatnot, over here, because I don't want that. I don't want someone, I don't care that people, you know, I don't want someone stealing and hacking my account, because I've worked hard, knock on wood, to keep that account going since what, 2008, 2007. So yeah. Anyways, that being said, if you don't believe in science because you think it's stupid, or because somebody's told you it's stupid, or because someone's tried to convince you that it's wrong, do your best to follow your heart, to do what's best for you. Oh, that's what I was going. Oh, see, circling back. One of the rare circle backs right now. There'll be times when I'll put, you know, my personal beliefs on my Facebook page, not on someone else's, just on mine. And it's something I'm just sharing, like, hey, you know what, I saw this, blah, blah, blah. And I've had people unfriend me because they had bad experiences with certain things that, you know, I turned my attention to. And it's just like, well, you're wrong, you're going to hell. It's like, okay, thanks for judging me. You know, what's that saying in the Bible? Judge not, lest ye be judged. But, you know, and I've lost family members over that. I mean, they were kind of distant family members. I'm lucky that my family encouraged me to be the black sheep in the family. And by that, I don't mean, you know, go out and be a dork and all that stuff. I mean, they always encouraged me to be who I am. And sometimes it freaked my parents out, but my aunt and uncle would step in and go, hey, you don't have to worry about it. This is Shelly Marie. You know, have you met your child? And it's like, yeah, that's true. So, so there were, you know, it's good to have a good, positive, loving support from your family and my friends, you know, and I still get some friends that like to challenge me and tell me how to think, and that's okay, because that's their belief. And in fact, I think I want to talk about this on the next show, about how what we believe, it may not always sit with what other people believe. And, well, you know, we'll save that for another day. But now that I remembered that, I need to write it down. So, yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. There may or may not be a show tomorrow. If there is a show, it's going to be pre-recorded. Okay, and I will put it up on YouTube. I'll put it on the Aloha Perspective page. Well, it'll start there. So older sibling has I have to take older sibling in tomorrow for an appointment. She needs a driver because they're gonna put her out. So, probably not stuff you needed to know. But, yeah, I won't be here live tomorrow morning. So, again, if there is something, it'll probably be a lot shorter. If there is anything at all, I don't want to make any promises. So, you know, just stay tuned. Stay tuned. If not, I will be back here on Friday. And I believe that Friday is probably going to be Oracle Friday, but I make no promises on that either. So I may save that for next week. Okay. So have a great, great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for letting me get all this stuff out of my head. Hopefully I will be back on my game and less scatterbrained soon. But you know what? It's okay, because I'm trying, and I'm proud of all of us who are doing our best every single day. All right. Have a great day, and I will see you when I see you.